Are your kitchen and bathroom way overdue for a remodel? Well, I got the guy for you. Call John Sellers at First Response Contracting, 484-256-7136. Both residential and commercial services, and he's licensed and insured. Call him at 484-256-7136. First Response Contracting. Hello, this is Brad Weisman. You're listening to Real Estate and You. We are back in the studio for a special edition today. I have two amazing people in here with me, and I'm excited about this show. We have not done a show for a long time. It's Mark and Susan, my partners, and I'm excited to have you in here because it's been a long time. Is it a year?
No.
Oh, I hope not.
I hope not. I don't think it's that long,
Jeez.
but it's been not 2023. It's been 2022.
2022, yeah.
Yeah.
Boy, that
we did
year.
a wrap-up show at the end of the year.
That's right, we did. You're
Yes.
exactly right. So the reason I brought you in here today is to talk about 2022 a little bit, but then also get into 2023. And actually, as we were talking before we went live here, was I wanted to go over the two different things that we can talk about are to the agents, okay, which you kind of mentioned. Are we talking about agents or are we talking about consumers? We can talk about both. I mean, there's no reason, in the same conversation, we can't talk about, the agents who we care about and are working here at the office with us. And we also have the consumers, which we all work with. And so let's start out with the consumers. Let's talk about where the market was in 2022 to where it is right now. What are the differences you see and go from there? Susan, tell me, what's your business look like? Or what did it look like 2022 and now 2023?
2022, we saw a lot of good things. It was crazy. It was hard, but a different hard.
Okay.
Hard. A lot of people say we were almost order takers. Things were put a sign up. It was selling in hours, multiple offers, great market, and didn't really have to work as hard for the business that we had as we do right now.
Once you got the listings.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, because when you say order takers, what I think about is once you got the listing,
Correct.
Then it was easier.
Correct.
Easy.
Yes.
But getting the listings.
Right.
But
it was easy to sell. People weren't
Absolutely.
staging
Oh
houses.
my gosh, yes.
They weren't doing the activities that you had to do in a normal market that we did 3+ years ago.
Yeah. Mark, what did you see 2022?
Yeah, 2022 obviously was another strong year.
Yeah.
We had a big growth in percentage and, just values across the board, really. And we still saw a number of very well qualified buyers. So multiple offer situations, a lot of them with very well qualified buyers in them. Fortunately, that really did make life a little easy for us as realtors. The contracts were fairly clean, no inspections, strong financing, as I had mentioned. So it was a good year. It was a good year, and the prices still went up.
Yeah.
So,
and if you had 10 offers on a property, a few of them were always cash, right?
Yeah.
Conventional, 20% down.
Yep.
There wasn't many FHA at that point.
Yeah. It is interesting because, I don't ever remember a time where we had a more qualified buyer
Never.
in history. And I'm talking even before I started the business. I mean, you talk to people like Pete Heim, who's in even longer than I am. And there's just never been a time where we didn't see, like, with the 20% down and the cash covering the appraisal gap and it's just incredible.
Never seen it before.
It's the most competitive situation. So now you think that's starting to change?
I just had one in Exeter. We had 14 offers. We didn't go over like we would have in the summer. We would have gone over maybe 50 to 75,000. We didn't go over by that much.
So what price range? I'm sorry, did I catch it?
Like mid twos.
Wow, 50,000?
Well, it would have in the summer.
Got it.
50, 75,000. We had cash offers. I think out of the 14 offers, none of them were cash and none of them were 20% down. So for the people out there that their parents are telling them they have to buy a house with 20% down, it's not true. That's how it was 30 years ago. That's not true.
It's not true.
You can buy a house with 3% down, 5% down, 100% financing with VA.
Or with USDA.
Great program,
out
USDA.
in the rural areas.
Oh, yeah, which are all around here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's changing. You're seeing a little bit of a pendulum. You're seeing that too, Mark? A little bit of a pendulum swing?
Yeah. What I'm actually surprised at, though, is that the demand is still so strong, even though the interest rates went up. And, I think that's a little bit of a testament to the Berks County real estate market in that we're still a pretty affordable place to live.
Yeah.
Right. So the majority of real estate in Berks County is, in that price point that the interest rates have affected, but have not really pulled a ton of buyers out of.
Yeah.
So the rates mostly are affecting the houses that probably need more work now and the higher price points and vacation homes, which we have here.
Right.
Presumably, no one has a vacation home in Berks County.
What do you mean? There's tons of people vacationing here.
A few, maybe, but
to see the pagoda.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
The sites. But and the thing is it's definitely less qualified. Like we had talked about, the 20% are limited. 20% down buyers are limited. You are starting to see more FHA buyers come back out, and it could have been those frustrated FHA buyers from 2022 that just didn't have a chance really, and now they're finding, well, hey, maybe I can get back into this market and figure this out.
There's some great lending programs right now.
Oh my gosh,
that I didn't see 2 years ago.
And that's going to keep happening. I think.
There's really good ones that we're checking into constantly. And
Definitely.
with the rates, I don't think they're going back. They're never going to be back at 3 and 4 again. I don't think in our lifetime.
I don't think so.
That was gone. It was great for
I think we need to let the public know that more and more, that don't wait for this to come down at 3 or 4, because here's what's going to happen. You wait 3 or 4 years for it to come down to 4, and guess what? The values of the homes are going to be up another 10, 15, 20%. So whether it did go down to 4 or not, you're still losing money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If it went down to 4, you'd still be losing money.
When the rates were that, I had a buyer lose a house over $100,000 cash over asking. They lost out.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So wouldn't you rather a little bit of a higher rate and not pay $100,000 over what something's worth?
Absolutely. And, we're starting to see, like you said, the programs, the special programs. There's going to be some adjustables that are starting to become more attractive. The 10-1 arms, which we talked about with Mike Bauer the other day. Yep. He was saying that there's going to be more of that coming out.
So for people that don't know what that is, it's basically that your rate is locked in for 10 years. Yep. At that rate, and it's an adjustable rate.
Absolutely. And the other thing too is FHA. Did you just hear about that? I mean, they just dropped their PMI by went from 0.85 to 0.35. So that's becoming more affordable. I think you're going to see a lot more people go on FHA, not only because of the PMI being less, also because the rate is less.
Yeah.
So the credit score didn't that go down for FHA
I think
too?
that went down a little bit also. Yeah. So you're seeing some amazing things. And it's funny, all these things are to help the buyer, yet we have an inventory issue.
Yeah.
So all this is going to do, if we bring more buyers into the market, buyers beware, you're going to be seeing competition.
Yeah. Well, I would put your house on the market now, get on before the spring, true spring.
Absolutely.
Start doing it like earlier. And for the buyers, start getting out there earlier, because you're going to have a lot. I think we're going to have a really good spring market.
I think so too.
I
think there's going to be a pent up demand to list their house.
Even when it got warmer this past week, a couple of days, I had agents reaching out saying like they felt like they were getting busier those days, which is interesting.
That's great. Yeah. That's what you like to hear. Yeah. So 2023, we think it's going to be a good year. I mean, you're hearing different things from all over the country. We're hearing some people saying it's going to be down by 6% in values. Personally, I think in Berks County, we're going to still see appreciation. I don't think we're going to see depreciation at all.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I think we're probably going to see maybe no more than 5%.
Yeah.
But in some markets, there's going to be some depreciation probably. Yeah. But it's mostly because, like I said, this is an affordable area to live. So the rates aren't taking that strong of an effect on the majority of the real estate. So I think, we're going to see little upticks in the stuff that's really, really nice.
Yep.
We're going to see more days on market for the houses that need the work. And then the higher price points, like I said, they're just going to be a little slower. But that's more indicative of the rates than anything else.
And I know a lot of our agents here at Keller Williams are staging certified, and I think that's going to help them.
Yeah.
Because a year ago, it didn't matter as much. Yep. Now they can go through and really tell the seller what they have to do and use those coming soon 21 days or less to get the house ready.
Yeah.
I had an appointment this week, and that's what I said. I'm like, okay, let's go through the list of everything you need to do.
Yeah.
Because those things will make your house sell for more money.
I often find the buyers with less money that, they're putting every dollar they've got into getting this loan. They don't have as much of an imagination when it comes to walking through these properties that aren't staged.
Yeah.
So it's good to present it in that light so they can say, okay, well, maybe I don't have to spend as much money making this the house.
That's a great point.
Yeah, so true.
They're at the max of their budget maybe too. They don't have the money to redo everything.
Yeah, they're scared off by just looking at blank spaces. But the fact of the matter is, like, they can make it work. It's just, show them what they got to do.
Yeah, it's so true. And what are some of these older houses too? I don't know if you've noticed that, but there's a lot of people listing their houses now, sellers, that the house is really, really not in good shape. Yet they're trying to profit off of the market a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
So you go in and you're like, okay, they're wanting $319 for this, and it should be $275.
Oh, yeah.
Do you see that?
Oh, we're having to have very realistic.
Real
they
conversations.
Want like a deal on the house they're buying.
Yes.
But then they want to get $200,000 more for the house they're selling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, where did you come up with those comps? Because I can't find them. And they're like, well, it's just because we added a lot of stuff. I'm like, oh, you over improved your house.
Yeah. You still have shag in the bedroom. And we're not talking frisé, which is the new stuff. We're talking shag.
Yeah.
What's the new stuff? There's a new
Frisé.
shag.
Well, that's the new
frisé,
shag.
it's
It's called
like 10 years
frisé.
old,
Yeah.
but-
Well, I'm just saying that
no.
the newest shag.
No.
Oh, sorry.
10 years behind this, apparently.
Make a note there about who's on the podcast.
I just got myself off the podcast.
That's all right. No problem.
Frisé is nice though.
It is. Well, but it's funny. Some of these houses. The only thing too with the older houses, check to see if there's hardwood underneath.
Oh my God.
Right?
Exactly.
You can change the whole look of the house with just tearing up the carpets right when you come in.
Yeah, it's a good point.
So what are realtors doing? Like what's changing for us? Like how are we working harder or smarter, or what's changed in our world?
We had a packed room this morning, which I loved. About it was all about things people learned at this last convention called Family Reunion. I see agents digging into tech and working harder.
Yeah.
Because they have to be in touch with their clients more.
Mm-hmm. So I think the client gets better service when the market
100%.
is a little bit more competitive for realtors. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I think, the touch points are really important right now for realtors. When the business kind of fell into our laps or came to us more frequently in these previous couple of years, it's not going to happen like that probably moving forward.
And how much time it took us to put it together. I mean, it was hard to be able to service your clients when you had so much coming at you that you had to deal with right in front of you.
Yeah.
So now you have that time to really give the best service to your clients, which is great.
Absolutely. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where things go this year for both realtors and the consumer.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting.
You've been saying for a while, Brad, and I tell people that about the spring market being a true spring market.
Yeah.
Because it used to always be dead in January, February, and then all of a sudden it would start, and boy, would it start. We just haven't had that for a couple of years because we've had the craziness.
And I'm hoping we do have a spring market. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I mean, I really hope we have something. Is there anything else? I mean, I was looking through my list here. Interest rates as a whole, I just don't think it's going to, as much as people think it affects our market, I don't think it does affect it as much as they think it does.
Right.
I mean, because of the difference in the pricing, like we said about the monthly payments, it just really doesn't change much. And when you had said about Berks County being a little different, I think it's because we don't have, like if you think about California or some of your higher price markets, interest rate has a lot to do with it.
Oh, yeah.
A lot to do with it. You're talking financing 600, 700,000. That's going to make a big deal with the 1.5 interest rate hike or whatever. So, so that's pretty much anything else you want to recap on for the market, or anything else you want to cover? Well, that was
Florida tomorrow for Susan.
Yeah, you're going to Florida tomorrow?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, very nice, very nice. Hugo, do you have anything? Come on, you always have a question or something to talk about.
No, I was thinking what would be the advantages, at least for a buyer or a seller, selling or buying during winter as opposed to
Very good.
or the
Yep.
summer. What are things that you
Less competition in the winter. I think you don't have to focus in the winter on the backyard as much.
Yeah.
You don't have to have it perfect because people aren't spending time walking around there. So if you have a big like slope in the winter on your backyard, people are like, that'd be great for sledding. In the summer, they're like, I wouldn't want to mow it.
Yeah, right.
So it's a good time if you're like,
So true.
good.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I think
I always tell
good
people
point.
that.
the winter that we've had being so mild, like more people should put their homes on the market. Because I always find that when snow's on the ground, people just can't.
Oh, they don't want
again,
to.
we don't have the imagination. I can't see the grass.
That's
Yep.
so true.
So
And,
true.
and it's like, I don't know why more people weren't on the market this year, considering we didn't get a lot of snowfall. So it's a great time to sell right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, real quick, pet peeve of yours that other agents do that drives you crazy.
Oh, other agents.
Yeah, like something you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they did that.
Leaving the door unlocked at an open house, but it doesn't happen often.
Okay.
Or just not getting back to you if you text them.
Feedback, showing
It's so,
feedback.
yeah, that's it for
Feedback,
me.
yeah.
It's a big one.
It's
Yeah.
feedback because your seller is always wondering how the showing went,
Yeah.
and at least provide them a little bit of feedback. Don't just say
They
no,
opened their house
we're not
for you.
interested.
Yeah. And they cleaned their house. They got rid of their kids. They
even
put
though
the
we'll
dogs
do
away.
we'll do the follow up with them, but like just give us give us something
Feedback.
to follow up with.
Most agents do a good job with it.
Yeah.
They're-
Yeah.
People are busy.
Yep.
And,
Mine is professional photos.
Oh, okay. That is my biggest pet peeve because I have had such an issue with it lately.
It drives me crazy.
Like people are listing homes in the millions of dollar range that I've seen.
and with their
not
phone.
using a professional.
They use their phone and it's dark. Did you ever have when it's
yeah.
dark outside? You can tell that it's
First of all,
dark.
you see that at the shore all the time at Jersey Shore.
Oh my God.
I'm like, I'm going to clean house there.
I
Just
thought you were going to say that the
professional.
photos are misleading, and I think that's what I hear a lot of times with buyers.
I'd rather it be misleading than be unprofessional.
Make it look bigger than it is. Well, I measure the rooms.
You know what
so
I've
know.
I always
what
have
I've
a problem
found-
with that.
Oh
what
my
I found
God.
interesting with photos.
Oh, your poor wife.
This is a family show.
Very small feet, Brad Weisman.
What I found interesting with professional photos is I find that people think they're misleading in the lower price point.
Yes.
But when they get to the higher price point, they're like, this is actually nicer than I thought it was
Yeah.
going to be.
So true.
Right?
So true. I've had that several times.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, it's
Yeah, when the room is 5 by 5, they're like, geez, on the picture it looked 20 by 20.
yeah.
So
but
true.
then when you get to these like beautiful houses at the $800,000
yeah.
plus point, they're
Then
like,
it-
oh my gosh, this is amazing.
Yeah, it is pretty wild how that works. That's interesting. I've come across it a couple times. All right, I think we're good.
All right.
We good?
Real quick,
Yes, go ahead.
favorite Netflix?
Favorite
What were we talking about
Netflix?
before?
Oh, what was the one?
Murdoch Trials.
Murdoch
I just
Trials.
watched
Murdoch
that. That's
Trials.
really
I have
good.
not started.
Really good?
If you are a woman and want something really good from scratch, amazing. It was like 8 episodes.
So that's it. It's real quick.
Yeah.
You cried? Is it that sad?
Three of them in a row. I cried.
Is this the one you said you were bawling? And I said your eyes were all
yes,
puffy the next
day?
day?
Brad walks in. He's like, your eyes look puffy. I was like, I cried last night. I watched Netflix.
I'm such a good guy, huh?
you really
Right? Yeah,
are.
such a good guy.
Yeah.
Damn it. All right, that's it. We're done with you guys. Get the heck out of here. That was it for the show with Susan and Mark. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. And there was a good update for realtors, for consumers, for anybody. That was awesome. All right, we'll see you soon. Are your kitchen and bathroom remodels a little overdue? Well, now's your chance to call First Response Contracting. John Sellers will take care of you. 484-256-7136. They do residential and commercial, and they're licensed and insured. Give them a call at 484-256-7136.